The final season of Stranger Things is officially on the way. It looks like the best season yet. But what are the lives like of the stars when they aren't battling the evil forces of the Upside Down? There's no doubt that the breakout star of Stranger Things is 11 herself, Millie Bobby Brown. Since appearing in the franchise, she has lined up movie franchises like Godzilla and Enola Holmes. Not only that, but she's been pulling in big deals with modeling deals and endorsements left and right. Despite being just 18, she has already amassed a wealth of over $10 million. So what do you drop cash on when you're a teenage multimillionaire? Well, naturally, you drop loads of cash on a ton of pretty things that you don't really need. When she was 16, she did what literally any rich 16-year-old would do and scored herself multiple fancy cars. That includes a $70,000 Mercedes-Benz V-Class Marco Polo, a $27,000 Mini Cooper, and a special Cadillac Escalade that's worth upwards of $100,000 she reportedly uses for premieres. Brown also likes to wear luxury clothes constantly. She's all about that handbag life, where she's been seen sporting designer names like Louis Vuitton $2,700 shearling handbags, Fifar's $505 Colt micro bags, and Gucci's $1,145 mini GG bags. They should probably pay her for that too, because pretty much every time she sports a new bag, it becomes a headline with a link to exactly where you can purchase it. Seriously, every single style Mills takes on instantly becomes a big deal to sites like 17, which dissect each and every part of the look. I mean, who can blame them? For her 18th birthday, she sported an instantly iconic modern Cinderella-style gown accompanied by glitter eyeliner. She basically looked like the classiest princess at Euphoria High School. She then used the look to advertise for her very own brand, Florence by Mills. Who knows, as much as people love her products online, she may be more successful for the Florence brand than for her acting. In her downtime, she really likes two-piece pink pajama sets from Justin Bieber's label Drew. She has been seen sporting the little yellow Drew smiley on clothes all over Instagram. This was actually a huge deal for the brand. Honestly, they probably should have hired her too. She has two different homes, as she frequently splits her time between being close to her family in London and filming in Atlanta. There isn't a ton of public information on the homes, but from the pics she's shared, it's clear that both are classy, modern, and perfect for families to bond. And for dogs. Mills loves to post pics of her dogs. Like any good millennial star, she also makes sure to give back to charity. She has donated to UNICEF and the Olivia Hope Foundation. She also donated tens of thousands to overwhelmed hospitals in England during the craziest days of the COVID-19 pandemic. This giving nature explains why she has such a rabid fan base who worships her every move. There are definitely worse celebrities to worship, that's for sure. Honestly, we all know that even as Stranger Things comes to an end, Brown's career is just taking off. Netflix has already shown that they consider her to be a true asset, and Hollywood just loves casting her in things. Frankly, it's shocking that she hasn't already been cast in a Marvel movie. Rumor has it that both Marvel and DC have had talks with her to become a big-time superhero. Time will tell which one she chooses to suit up with. Aside from Millie Bobby Brown, no other actor has become a rising star quite like David Harbour. Stranger Things took his career of minor bit parts from the background of TV shows and movies into him becoming a force to be reckoned with in Hollywood. Though people loved his superhero performance as Red Guardian from Black Widow more than his performance playing a different Red Guardian in the disastrous Hellboy remake. Despite all of this, he has only amassed $6 million, which is surprising considering how often he's cropped up in big-budget movies. As you might could guess from his on-screen personality, Harbour is a wild man who has a lot of passion. For instance, he met singer Lily Allen in 2019, and within a year the two jetted off to Vegas where they were married by an Elvis impersonator. Considering the fact that even a non-Hollywood wedding costs over $20,000, while an Elvis wedding in Vegas runs for only a few hundred, I'd say that this was a great deal, especially considering the fact that they're still together today. As far as where all that superhero money has gone, look no further than his relationship. Harper apparently loves to blow big money on Allen as often as possible. It was big news when he celebrated her birthday by decorating her apartment with hundreds of roses and handmade decorations by her daughters. Also, you should see how big her diamond ring is. When Harper loves, he apparently loves big. It's rumored to cost upwards of $10,000. Harper may have been known for arguably launching the internet's obsession with the dad bod, but he actually had to go through a great deal of work to get a superhero body for Hellboy. If you didn't know, the unattainable superhero physique is usually done by hiring a specialist who designs a highly focused training routine to get the exact body the film requires. For Harper, that trainer was the one and only Don Saladino. He is famous for this exact type of work in Hollywood. Saladino is known for working with big-time actors turned superheroes like Ryan Reynolds, Sebastian Stan, and Hugh Jackman, so his work speaks for itself. Naturally, his services don't come cheap. These personal sessions can reportedly cost over $1,000 for each go, but you can purchase them right off his website for under $100, though you won't have him motivating you in person, which is probably where the difference in price comes from. As far as the kind of homes Harper likes, frankly, it's rather surprising. One might guess that Harper lives in a run-down mess of a place just like Hopper does on the show. Instead, he lives in the exact opposite kind of place. In fact, he has a gorgeous, reconstructed New York loft. Every single inch of this place is classy and covered in plants. Seriously, from the hallways to the living spaces to the bedrooms, there are hanging plants everywhere. Don't give him too much credit for it though. He paid thousands of dollars to Kyle O'Donnell of Gramercy Design to make it look as classy as possible. So what's next for David Harbour? Well, he's following up the final season of Stranger Things by filming a movie called Violent Nights, where he stars as a violent version of Santa Claus who has to take down a team of mercenaries in order to save Christmas. That sounds like the most David Harbour project I've ever heard of. Winona Ryder was a Hollywood legend long before Stranger Things. She became famous for projects like Heathers, Edward Scissorhands, and one of the 17 adaptations of Little Women Hollywood has made. Despite that certified legend status, Ryder fell on hard times career-wise. The phone just wasn't ringing like it used to. That is, until it rang with a little offer called Stranger Things. Her incredible performance as Joyce Byers has made her a household sensation once again. Her career, both old and new, has brought her a sizable fortune of around $18 million. While she was the most paid cast member from the start of season 1, they still picked her up pretty cheap by movie star standards. That all changed when the show took off. She was able to negotiate for a $1.1 million an episode salary. Despite all this, Ryder is a very, very down-to-earth person. Her favorite food is a grilled cheese sandwich, not some fancy 5-star meal she could easily afford. Her favorite singer is Justin Bieber, just like many other normal people all over the world. When the pandemic shut down production on Stranger Things, Ryder even donated a part of her salary to keep people paid during the break. Even her house is a far cry from the type of mansions you see big Hollywood celebrities sporting. In fact, her San Francisco house looks just like the home from Full House. She purchased it in 1995 for $1.3 million, which is ridiculous by today's standards, even in one of the most affluent areas in the Bay Area, Cow Hollow. So when she finally decided to let the home go, they listed it at $4.9 million. After her shoplifting arrest in 2001 brought her career to a grinding halt, Ryder retreated to this estate to meditate on herself. She said this saved her life and likely brought about her new, down-to-earth attitude. This is the exact home to do something just like that. It's a lovely estate with 3 levels, 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and 3,140 square feet of living space. The rooms have elevated patios that offer amazing views of the Golden Gate Bridge or Alcatraz. Each room of the house is recently renovated and absolutely gorgeous with pristine white walls, natural wood floors, and plenty of open space with natural light. It is an amazing space that's perfect for families, movie stars, or even sitcoms. Funnily enough, despite the fact that Netflix resurrected Ryder's entire career, she had no idea what Netflix even was. Someone actually had to explain to her what a streaming service was. She wanted to know what channel Netflix was on. Well, there's no doubt she knows all about it now. Dacre Montgomery may not have had a long stint on Stranger Things as the new bad boy in town, Billy, but he was quite memorable. He's turned that into a cool $2 million. The Australian actor goes for the finest homes money can buy, such as this gorgeous penthouse apartment in Sydney. It's a $1.55 million 2-bedroom place that is all glass and natural light in every direction. If that wasn't nice enough, the marble bathroom will probably win you over for good. Having to quarantine here with a supermodel girlfriend honestly doesn't sound all that bad. While there are many great actors on Stranger Things, there's only one who has the best hair. That is undeniably Steve Harrington himself, Joe Keery. His gravity-defying mop top has earned him $4 million. He is very aware of his responsibilities as a modern heartthrob, too. He once was spotted with less than perfect hair and made sure it would never happen again. Every couple of weeks, he gets a slight trim that doesn't make his hair look too perfect, but just a little messy. His stylist then recommends 2 Oribe mousses, the Surf Comber Tousled Texture Mousse. Afterwards, a matte waves texture lotion texturizes the entire look. He then finishes off with Oribe's Fiber Groom Elastic Texture Paste. Each of these products usually goes for around $20 to $30, but trust me, they can go for much, much more. Then there's his style, which goes for even more money. He wears Dolce & Gabbana suits that are over $8,000, Bodie blazers for $1,680, and Prada ensembles which go for over $8,000 altogether. Not only that, but he's low-key a rock star. His band Post Animal may be for fun, but it's a pretty psychedelic rock experience. There's a good chance that he actually may be cooler than Steve himself. Looking at Finn Wolfhard's mic from Season 1 is baffling now. He has grown so much since he first stole Eleven's heart in Hawkins, Indiana. Since then, he's made bank off of basically showing up in a movie to give it Stranger Things vibes. Look no further than the not-so-subtle comparisons it and Ghostbusters Afterlife have made to the show. This position has been very good for Finn, earning him $4 million, which is awesome for a kid that's just 19. His interests don't just lie with acting, though. Apparently, he keeps a MacBook on him at all times so that he can write screenplays and music for his band Calpurnia. He's usually seen playing a blue Fender that's worth around $2,000. So look out for this star to maybe win some Grammys in the near future. Why isn't there a collaboration with Joe Keery? As far as Finn's future, we'll see how long the novelty of making something that seems like Stranger Things will last. He decided to become an actor after watching the first Spider-Man movie, so maybe when Tom Holland finally puts the red and blue tights away, Wolfhard will give it his best shot to become the next Peter Parker. There are actors who have had more success, but few actors have portrayed as many lovable characters as Sean Astin. He's been Mikey in The Goonies, Rudy from Rudy, Samwise Gamgee from Lord of the Rings, and the valiant Bob Newby from Stranger Things Season 2. This storied career has made him $10 million. As far as what kind of lifestyle Astin has, it seems like he's just as chill as you'd imagine. He bought a house in Calabasas for $1.2 million in 2003, with 4 bedrooms and 4 baths. A simple, cute, suburban neighborhood with giant pools, spacious living areas, and the kind of greenery someone from the Shire could be proud of. Perhaps the coolest purchase Astin has ever made is his tattoo. He has the Elvish word for 9 tattooed on his foot. This stands for the 9 members of the Fellowship of the Ring, which all of the principal members of the Lord of the Rings cast share. While there's been no word or rumor that he would reappear in the series, it seems seems quite likely that the fan-favorite character could make one last appearance in Stranger Things' final season, in a flashback or perhaps as some kind of vision. The show is known for exactly that kind of thing. One of the most exciting things coming in the new season of Stranger Things is the inclusion of Freddy Krueger himself, Robert Englund. This isn't all that surprising given the show's love of 80s star stunt casting and the show's obvious love for the Nightmare on Elm Street series, Dream Warriors in particular. Englund himself has had a long career in Hollywood that has earned him a nice $16 million. While he has had a career outside of playing Freddy, his fortune has mostly come from appearances as the character. You see, for actors like Englund, who are famous for creatures or aliens who require heavy makeup, they actually charge a great deal more for the full Freddy than they do for a normal gig. Similar actors like Michael Dorn from the Star Trek franchise, or even Andy Serkis for his motion capture work, have different prices if you're paying them just to use their boring old face versus them sitting in a makeup chair for hours on end. For instance, getting him to don the red sweater once again for Freddy vs. Jason cost a full $1 million, whereas its doubtful Stranger Things dropped nearly that much. As far as what Englund likes to spend his money on, well, his Laguna Beach home shows that he's just as much of a Freddy fan as everyone else. He collects Freddy Krueger memorabilia, spending thousands on toys, pinball machines, Elm Street road signs, and preserved memories from his time with the franchise. Funnily enough, you'd think he would have one of his iconic bladed gloves, but he actually gave the only one he kept to his agent as a thank you. Aside from buying every piece of Freddy merch he can get his hands on, apparently Englund still likes the cool, subdued California life he did when he was a kid. Apparently his favorite thing to do is just take his wife to a nice matinee, preferably a horror movie. Englund's new character, Victor Creel, will be a gruesome patient imprisoned at Penhurst Mental Hospital for the crimes he committed against his family. It seems like they had something to do with the great upside-down mystery the series is centered on. No matter what Creel's role in the season will be, there's one thing that's absolutely clear. The performance will be terrifying. Gaten Matarazzo absolutely won over the world with his lovable performance as Dustin in Stranger Things. This has earned him $5 million, even if Hollywood hasn't grabbed onto him quite like some of the other stars. Honestly, if you didn't know that he was Dustin on Stranger Things, you might not be able to tell he's a famous millionaire kid at all. He seems to be a pretty normal young man who likes buying video games, hanging out with friends, and going on dates. Someone needs to tell this kid he can buy a Lamborghini. Funnily enough, during quarantine, he actually had a different job altogether. While the show had paused filming, he actually got a part-time gig at the same restaurant many of his old friends and family were working at, right off of the Jersey Shore. He was motivated to get out of the house due to way too much Mario Kart, a problem no one knew existed before that. Despite the fact that he was wearing a mask and hat, people still recognized who he was while he was making deliveries. Getting a delivery from Dustin Henderson was probably better than the food. The final season proves to be the biggest yet. Here's to hoping they pull a Sean Astin and get a cool tattoo commemorating their time in Hawkins, Indiana.